Welcome back to The Exchange, everybody. The House has a new speaker, but as the clock ticks down on a potential government showdown again mid-month, this as funding for Ukraine and Israel could hit a snag over its hit to the deficit. Joining us now to discuss that issue and more, his view on the Fed, the economy, is Representative Brad Sherman. He also sits on the House Financial Services Committee as well as the Foreign Affairs Committee. Welcome back, Congressman.
Good to be with you, Tom.
Very, very good to have you here. Let's start with your view of the American economy. It is quite hot, actually. If you looked at the last quarter, 4.9% GDP growth. You represent a district. I don't worry too much about the folks in your district, Bel Air, Brentwood, Malibu. I'm sure things are doing okay there.
Canoga
but how
Park,
do you see the U.S. economy?
Most of my folks are in the San Fernando Valley, which is not exactly the same, but I think things are good. The actors' strike is a problem out our area, and you know, people are not satisfied, and they're often not satisfied. Prices are higher, and you notice it. And it's nice to say that wages are up, but they're only up if you happen to have gotten a raise.
Let's talk about what's been going on in Congress and switch gears a little bit. We didn't talk in our first segment about geopolitics, and there is plenty to talk about there. I guess you have a new speaker. You have a speaker who has made it clear that he's not particularly in favor of funding additional monies for Ukraine. You have a package that may be put forth, maybe it already is, to help fund Israel's war effort, Ukraine's war effort, and maybe border security. What's going to happen here, and how does the speaker get his caucus to come along?
Well, not the way he's doing it. He's got, for the first time ever, he's going to make Israel a partisan issue. And that may be in his short-term political interest, but it's really a disaster. I mean, I've been a pro-Israel activist for 60 years.
What do you mean he's making it a political issue?
Well, what he's done is, instead of just having us vote on foreign policy, or better, or perhaps just on aid to Israel, he's marrying with it a cut to the IRS positions.
That was only to fund that, though, to make it
well, it
neutral.
Doesn't fund it. CBO says it actually costs more money.
But the intent was not because that was the goal, but just simply to get the package passed without increasing the deficit.
I think his intent was to split and to say Democrats are voting against Israel. He's not funding it because the Congressional Budget Office says it makes it cost more. When you cut IRS positions, you cut revenue. And I think it's just because every time a billionaire cheats on his taxes, a member of the Republican caucus earns his wings. They really hate IRS enforcement because they know that wage earners have to pay, and business people have more complexity, and without an IRS, they don't have to pay.
As I understand it, the president has put forward a proposal that would marry aid for Ukraine and aid for Israel under one umbrella. Is that likely to carry?
In the Senate, yes. And frankly, if it's split in the House, I think they both carry separately. They both carry together. I think there'll be a smaller number of Republican votes for the Ukraine than for Israel, but I think in general, there's support for meeting our international responsibilities.
Do you then, just because it raises this question about the deficit, we've had all these Treasury supply announcements and so forth, this isn't the time and place to probably kind of fight that battle. That aid obviously needs to happen. If it's not passed, we'll probably need more down the road. But on the question of balancing this deficit, which now seems to be persistently with us, what would your ideas be on that front, or how is that going? How is that effort going to at least get started?
Not a penny will be spent that the Republicans in the House don't vote for and the Speaker doesn't vote for. And if they have ideas on how to cut spending, that's the place to do it. Likewise, and Republicans won't go for this, we actually need to collect revenue. And some of the cuts that Trump had in his first year have to be rolled back. And then you have to actually enforce taxation, particularly our enforcement on multinational corporations is very weak.
So I just want to circle back. You believe that one way or another, aid for Israel's war effort and aid for Ukraine's war effort will be passed by Congress this year?
Probably, because while they each would pass together or separately on the floor of the House, it's up to Mike Johnson to determine whether we get to vote on the floor of the House.
You've been an astute observer of and sometime critic of cryptocurrency. Is cryptocurrency being used to finance Hamas?
Yes.
What's your proof?
Well, Hamas solicits contributions. They've collected over $100 million, not so much from donations from individuals as transfers from from Iran and others. And crypto, if it ever really becomes a currency, look, it's not a currency. You got sandwich place downstairs from the studio. You can't buy a turkey sandwich there. But if it ever does become a currency, then it's going to be much more effective, because it says right in the name, cryptocurrency literally means hidden money. And with unhosted wallets, it means the know your customer rules that apply to banking accounts can't apply.